Today's shout-out goes out to Mr. Jaber's 9th grade civics classes at Fond du Lac High School in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Who was the youngest man to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Was it Jimmy Carter, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., or the Dalai Lama? You've got 3 seconds. Go! "35-year-old Martin Luther King Jr. won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out.
Dr. King was awarded that prize for his work with the civil rights movement. He famously offered his vision of an America where people are judged by their character rather than their skin color. As we get ready to celebrate the federal holiday that honors the civil rights icon, John Zarella explores what Dr. King might say about today's America.
The road to the White House brings us to Memphis, Tennessee, and the National Civil Rights Museum and the Lorraine Motel. This is the balcony where Dr. King stood when he was assassinated. If he were still with us, what might he say about the Obama presidency? Memphis, the Lorraine Motel. In the parking lot below room 306, 2 vintage Cadillacs. History's detail preserved. This is where Martin Luther King Jr. died, 1968.
It's not so important that Martin Luther King Jr. died here, is that he lived here, and he changed Memphis, he changed America, and he did change the world.
Gwen Harmon is a director at the National Civil Rights Museum, of which the Lorraine is a part.
Just pretend like you're in an art gallery.
Since Barack Obama's victory, Harmon has sensed a change in those who come here.
So we see curiosity, we see pride, we see a sense of hope now. The groups are younger, they're bigger. We also see more diversity.
And all of this would have pleased Dr. King.
He had great faith in the fairness and decency of the American people.
Clarence Jones. For 8 years until King died, Jones was his confidant, speechwriter, attorney. About an African-American president?
What he would say, however long it takes, in some reasonable period of time, not an eternity, but in some reasonable period of time, there will be. I'm sure he would have said that. There will.
And more.
He would say still so much to do. As long as a child goes to bed hungry, we have work to do.
The museum tells the story of those who paved the way in civil and human rights. There's a bus from the 1955 Montgomery boycotts. We leave the bus and we come to the next period of time, right?
1960, this is actually my favorite exhibit. This shows the power of networking as far as a movement.
Is everybody ready? Yeah!
Today, students from Arlington Elementary are here.
I'd like to learn that Dr. King was in it. He'd probably feel very proud.
I think that he would feel good because he would know that helped change.
Change that might not have taken place, Harmon and Jones say, if not for those like Dr. King, who paved the way with their blood and tears. Many of those who were with the civil rights movement say that what Barack Obama has accomplished is not dissimilar to what Dr. King did. Both men built a movement based in no small part on substantial support from white America.
We will be off the air on Monday for Martin Luther King Day. We put together a one-sheet that details the legacy of Dr. King and a learning activity that challenges you to compare his vision to present-day America. You'll find both at cnnstudentnews.com. Texting. A lot of us do it, but how much? There's one study that says the average